Hello everyone and welcome to SwitchUp. Today we are going to give you a rundown on the latest big sales event from Cubic Games, and we thank them for sponsoring this video. Their big summer sale goes live today the 15th of July and runs until the 31st, and you'll have discounts on their games reaching as high as 93% in some instances. We'll go through each game for you and give you some info and let you know just how much you can pick these up for in your region, and there will be a link in the description and the top pinned comment where you can purchase those that catch your eye. So which games are on sale and how much are they? Well, let's find out. Let's start off with the latest release then, releasing today as a matter of fact, and that's Loud. This is an arcade guitar experience where you play as Astrid, a teenage girl whose big love is music as she chases her first contract with a talent scout. You'll need to perfect your timing of each rhythmic beat as you slam down on the chords to achieve the best possible ranking. There are 14 challenging levels with outfits, guitars and locations changing as you progress through, with 14 tracks plus one bonus song to attempt. Along with this you have 3 classic difficulty levels plus one extreme difficulty called Liberator. You can pick this up at 40% off the standard release price straight from the off. It should be out now and available to buy on the eShop as you watch this video. Another new release coming out a week or so ago was Game Deck. This also has 40% off of its standard price for the duration of this event, and we really enjoyed this game when we recently reviewed it. This is an isometric RPG with a cyberpunk theme where you play as a detective, the titular Game Deck, who are investigators who solve crimes inside virtual worlds. You'll need to use your wits to gather info from your witnesses and suspects, and the choices you make will shape the narrative in an adventure that looks to emulate the nature of tabletop RPGs by focusing on character development through decision making. You'll interact with NPCs, accessing different dialogue options through your choices, visit virtual worlds and use your codex and deduction to unscramble facts and evidence to conclude each case. Then we have Arise, a simple story definitive edition. This critically acclaimed 3D adventure focuses on an emotional journey of losing the love of one's life in a story about happiness and hardship, joy and sorrow. You'll need to manipulate time, solve puzzles and reshape surroundings in an adventure through the changing landscapes of memories, so says the blurb. As I said, you'll be controlling the flow of time from mere seconds to whole seasons, fast forwarding, going back or pausing time completely in order to relive memories and overcome obstacles, and you can also invite a second player along to help you with the experience. This definitive edition includes a digital art book and soundtrack, and there are also some features exclusive to the Switch version, such as a photo mode and gyroscopic support. There is 60% off here, which brings it down to its lowest ever price, the perfect time to pick it up. Up next we have Real Boxing 2. Here you'll begin as a new boxer on the scene, needing to take on the best the sport has to offer to rise up the ranks in career mode, or there is a multiplayer mode to attempt too. Before all of this though, you'll need to improve your fighting skills with a number of minigames, adjusting your stats to your playstyle, leveling up in order to unlock new abilities that will help you in fights to come. Then you have the bosses with some crazy characters included as you take on anything from clowns to Santa Claus with a barrage of jabs and hooks. There's a hefty 88% off of this one in the UK and EU and 86% off in the US to bring it down to its lowest ever price. Another game currently available for its lowest ever price is the Hong Kong Massacre. This is a top-down shooter similar to something like Hotline Miami in terms of mechanics, but inspired by classic action movies in terms of its feel and overall aesthetic. You take on the role of a former police detective hell-bent on exacting revenge for his partner's murder. To do this, you'll be moving through a number of locations, mowing down enemies, using a mixture of raw firepower, slow motion and a dodge and dive mechanic to make sure that you are the one that ultimately stays alive. Each level has a range of challenges, allowing you to unlock new weapons as you progress through the various settings such as restaurants, rooftops and apartment buildings. You can get 90% off of this one in the UK and EU, or 85% off in the US. Then there is Tools Up, also with a huge 90% off its normal price. This couch co-op party game is about renovation as you and up to 3 friends attempt to paint walls, pull off wallpaper and follow the blueprints to ensure that the job at hand is a harmonious one. Anyone that's ever played a game of this ilk knows that it never quite works out that way though, and instead what ensues is hilarious pandemonium as you and your friends constantly get in each other's way and scream at each other as the time ticks away. I have such a good time with these sort of games with my wife as you eventually get into the swing of it and start going for those star ratings, and at this 90% off price, this could be the perfect game for your next game night with friends or family. Red Wings Aces of the Sky is an arcade action game which focuses on aerial battles from history as you witness the birth, rise and fall of the Red Baron. You can choose from one of 10 historical warplanes as you become either a part of his squadron or his arch rival. You can choose to play with a friend in the over-the-top battles in co-op mode, or you can go it alone, but either way it currently has 90% off. You have Om Nom Run, an arcade type game where you must get to the end of a number of crazy courses by running and clearing obstacles. There are over 20 characters to choose from, 3 gameplay modes being campaign, multiplayer and free run, 4 types of missions within the campaign mode, power-ups and coins to upgrade your character. This has between 60 to 65% off depending on your region. Next we have Door Kickers, a real-time strategy game that puts you in charge of a SWAT team and lets you command them during a tactical intervention. You'll need to analyse the situation, plan team routes, choose equipment, breach points and coordinate multiple troops in 2D top-down real-time combat with a combat pause feature for when you need to survey the situation and make a critical decision. There are 5 trooper classes, non-linear levels and also a mission generator, meaning you will always have more content to play. It has between 83 to 85% off between regions. Something a little different next is Tiny Lands. This is similar to the Spot the Differences we used to do as kids in magazines or newspapers, but this time you are working in a 3D environment, meaning it'll be necessary to zoom in and out and change the camera angle in order to find each difference. There are no time limits or penalties, it's just about taking things at your own pace and having a good time. It has a discount of between 66 and 71% off at this moment in time. Beautiful Desolation has its highest ever discount at 90% off. This is a post-apocalyptic sci-fi adventure set in an era where highly advanced technology is both revered and reviled. This adventure has you facing tough choices as you progress through the game, and I love the different locales and environments. It really does nail that mesh between old world and new world that the best sci-fi stories build their setting upon. Well worth a look at this current low price. Another sci-fi setting next, but more of a cyberpunk theme this time. This is Dex. This one's a bit of a favourite on the channel and it's selling for a crazy low price here, again no less than 90% off no matter your region. It's a 2D action RPG set in a future dystopia where you play as the titular Dex, who is being hunted by a powerful organisation. You'll be exploring the world and can choose from a number of play styles to suit you. You can go stealth, diplomatic or all-out open combat if you wish. Then we have Blazing Beaks, a top-down roguelite playable in single player or co-op. Another favourite on the channel as it mixes the tried and tested formula up a tad by having an interesting mechanic which sees the land full of artifacts to find, but picking them up is detrimental to your character for the rest of that stage. It leads to an intriguing risk and reward system where being too greedy could be the end of you. It has a very generous 86% off until the end of the month. Then there's Badland, with this being the Game of the Year edition. It's a side-scrolling action-adventure platformer where you take control of one of the forest dwellers on a quest to find out what's going on in their homeland after a series of strange events. There is local co-op, playable with up to 4 players, a single-player campaign with 100 levels, 100 multiplayer levels and 23 battle levels. It has 75% off what was already a pretty cheap price. Golf Club Wasteland tells a quirky story of the rich and famous fleeing to Mars but returning to what is now a desolate Earth for a round of golf every so often. There's a story mode where you'll be piecing together the events that led to the Earth's downfall as you go, or you can play the challenge mode should you wish, and the pros among you may wish to try the Iron mode, which leaves practically zero room for error according to the blurb. I reckon it would be story mode for me then in that instance. Anyway, this one has 80% off. Chex Quest HD is a remake of the 1996 game of the same name, which itself was created as a tie-in to a serial called Chex, as you would no doubt have guessed. It's a first-person adventure game as you play as the Chex Mix Squadron in either single-player or split-screen multiplayer, attempting to defeat the dangerous cereal-eating creatures that have attacked from another dimension. This might have become my favourite game on the whole list based off of that synopsis alone, and you can currently grab it for 60% off, although this one is for the US only. And finally, another favourite on SwitchUp, we have Mana Spark. This is a top-down ARPG with roguelite elements, and another one that just nails its mechanics to the point where it feels like an incredibly polished experience. Rooms are handcrafted, but there is some procedural generation in how they are connected together, so every dungeon does feel like a new one, and you'll need to be on your toes in order to get far, as the combat is very much about skill. This is a really good one to chip away at, whether it be for long play sessions or little and often, and at between 80 to 90% off between regions, definitely worth getting if you haven't done so already. So there you have it, a huge amount of games on sale, some very new, just out in the last couple of weeks or so, one out today as I mentioned, and a few favourites on there if you haven't already picked them up for great prices. Please do let us know if you are getting any of these games or if you've played them before, what did you think of them, stick it all in the comments section. Don't forget, if you are looking for eShop credit to pick any of these games up, you can get your eShop cards via our website switchup.gg, and we do currently have 10% off, so you'll save yourself a bit and help the channel out at the same time, which is very much appreciated. Another big thank you to Cubic Games for sponsoring this video. They really do a great job with these sales events that they carry out. So many bargains here to choose from. I'm going to be picking up Beautiful Desolation and Tiny Lands for sure. A quick thank you to our Patreons as always for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.